A training in what? Yeah, you heard that right. That's how one philosopher described his entire field, as a kind of morbid obsession with dead ideas. It's a pretty unsettling image, isn't it? But it's also the key to understanding a thinker who wanted to do one thing: bring philosophy back to life.
And that thinker is Florentino Hornedo. Today we're diving into his work, a Filipino philosophy that basically declared war on what he saw as lifeless, mummified concepts. His whole mission was to build what he called an organic thought, a way of thinking rooted not in dusty old books, but in the actual, breathing, messy experience of being human.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the problem he was trying to solve. Then we'll get to know the man himself, explore his powerful ideas on freedom and being human, see how that all connects to other people, and finally, really get a handle on his lasting legacy.
All right, so let's start with that really intense phrase, intellectual necrophilia. What on earth did Hornedo mean by that, and what was it about the philosophy of his day that got him so fired up?
Well, for Hornedo, the academic world had turned into a kind of museum for ideas, and not in a good way. He saw these amazing concepts preserved like mummies. They looked perfect, sure, but they were totally dead. Scholars were just parroting old theories, repeating the words without ever asking, okay, but what does this mean for us, for real, living people? It was a philosophy completely disconnected from the world, and he knew that had to change. To really get Hornedo's philosophy of the living, you first have to get to know the man and where he came from. See, his ideas weren't cooked up in some stuffy ivory tower. They literally grew from the soil of his home in Batanes.
He was born way back in 1938. And as a kid, he was fascinated by the natural world, biology, animal life, you name it. But because of poverty, he had to pursue a degree in education instead. And that path, well, it set him on this incredible intellectual journey that led to a totally groundbreaking thesis on freedom in 1972, a piece of writing that would pretty much define his entire career.
And what a career it was. This guy was not your typical one-track academic. Hornedo was a true Renaissance man, a poet, a painter, a historian, an excellent cook of all things. He even nursed stray animals back to health. And this is so important because it shows you that for him, thinking was never separate from doing and creating and caring about the world around him.
This brings us to his first huge contribution. It was an idea so radical for its time that it was actually suppressed for decades. And in it, he redefines one of the biggest, most fundamental concepts in all of philosophy: freedom.
Okay, so Hornedo just completely flips the script here. He argued that freedom isn't some abstract idea or a right you're given. No, for him, freedom is a power. It's a real, tangible strength, an autonomous energy that we all have inside of us. It's the very thing that makes it possible for us to act, to develop, and to create a more just world.
And as you can imagine, that idea was dangerous. In the Philippines in 1972, which was under martial law, a philosophy telling people they had an innate power to shape their own destiny, well, that was officially labeled disturbing. His book was literally pulled from the shelves and hidden away. It didn't see the light of day again until the year 2000. So if freedom is this power to be, then how do we actually use it? Hornedo's answer is all wrapped up in his concept of Pagpapakatao, which is like the project of becoming fully human. And he explored it using a method called phenomenology.
Now, I know, phenomenology sounds super academic and complicated, but don't let the words scare you. The core idea is actually really simple. It's just a way of doing philosophy that starts with our real, lived experience, not with abstract theories. It's about paying close attention to how we, through our bodies, actually connect to the world. And this all leads to his huge, powerful declaration, Ako ang aking katawan. I am my body. See, for Hornedo, you are not a mind that's just trapped inside a physical shell. Your body is you. It's how you experience literally everything: joy, pain, work, love. It is how you make your mark on the world. So, from this foundation, Hornedo kind of lays out a roadmap for becoming human. It all starts with creativity and work, because that's how you reveal your inner self, your kaloruban. Then you use your freedom, that energy we talked about, to build yourself. But here's the key. It doesn't stop there. The next step is to empower others, to pass that strength on, a process that reaches its absolute peak in love, or pagmamahal.
And this is such a crucial point. For Hornedo, freedom is not a selfish project. It's not a solo mission. Its ultimate purpose is found in community. It's all about becoming a person for other people.
Having the power to be is really only half the story. Real freedom, true freedom, only happens when you use that power to lift up the people around you. There's a great saying, "Ang pagpapalaya ay pagbibigay lakas." To set free is to empower. Your own growth is tied directly to your responsibility to others.
And the highest point of that connection is pagmamahal, love. Hornedo does this amazing breakdown of the word itself. It comes from the root mahal, which means valuable or expensive. So for him, to love someone is the ultimate act of recognizing just how incredibly valuable they are. It's the total opposite of pagmamura, defamation, which literally means to make someone cheap. Just think about that.
So, what's Hornedo's ultimate contribution? When you boil it all down, what did he really do? Well, in a nutshell, he rescued Filipino philosophy from the morgue and dragged it into the vibrant, messy, beautiful world of the living.
And you can really see the difference in his approach right here. He fought against the old way, the mummification of concepts, the parroting of theories. And in its place, he gave us this idea of organic thought, something connected to life, open to conversation, and focused on using our freedom to create new meaning. He famously told philosophers to stop being like the owl, who just sees things but isn't productive, and start being like the honeybee, which actually provides both light and sweetness to the world.
Ultimately, Hornedo's legacy is one of liberation. He freed philosophy in the Philippines from just being about flipping through pages in a library. He dared thinkers to get their hands dirty, to actually engage with culture, with history, with art, and with the real everyday lives of people.
And that leaves all of us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? Because if Hornedo is right, if philosophy isn't just for academics, but is really this power to be that lives in all of us, then it's on us. So the question he leaves us with is this: how are you using your own power to create meaning in your life and in the lives of others?